Dear friends, on the previous videos we already talked a lot about the perspective and drawing, aerial perspective, how we use watercolors to create depth in our works. And in today's video I want to share with you an art tutorial, step-by-step guide on how to paint a beautiful landscape using the aerial perspective rules. And in today's video, I invite you to paint a beautiful art tutorial and a beautiful landscape where we will be talking a lot about the aerial perspective and how to create depth in our works. In this simple but yet important exercise, you will learn how to create different plans, how to create this beautiful depth, and by the end to create a marvelous work. For those of you who are for the first time here, my name is Ala. I'm a sketch illustrator and watercolorist, and from 2020 I'm an art teacher too. For creating this wonderful landscape, we will need watercolor paper. I will be using a watercolor paper that contains cotton, and it is called pressed because when we work with landscape, it is better to create different textures in watercolors on such a paper. You can also use the hot pressed paper, it will work also well, but some of the techniques won't be as you wish, for example. As well, we will need a pencil and an eraser. I will be using my kneadable eraser from Faber-Castell. I will need 3 paintbrushes, a big paintbrush for wetting the paper, another bigger paintbrush for applying the watercolors on the bigger surfaces, and a small paintbrush for the details. I will be using my 36 pens watercolors White Nights, but if you don't have so many colors, don't worry. With less colors it will work perfectly, and I will share with you how to mix these colors. Let's start with the sketch. So we will make the composition interesting, and the horizontal line we will make it a little bit higher than we are used to, because here we have some hills in the background, and those hills are going a little bit over here. Look for an interesting drawing, an interesting way to represent these fields. Over there, very far away, we have a lake, but we see it very few of this lake, I would say. And later on over here we have other hills, and that goes behind those that we have drawn previously. I would make this lake smaller. Over there, here straight on another hill, we have some houses, but because those are really small, we won't draw those. And the idea is actually not to create too many details. We mainly want to represent different ways of green, and for this reason we do not paint too many details. For example, over here we have some other trees, but I think that I won't paint those. I will stop straight away that the lake is finishing over here. If you look into the reference, you will notice that the lake is over here. Here we have another tree that is coming up over here. I won't draw it now. And then I will represent another field. Okay, and here in front of us we have beautifully another way of green. The drawing is done, we can start with painting. As you can see, the sketch is really easy one. We don't pay too much attention to these sketches. I make it closer to you. As far as you see, we don't draw too many things. The trees we will paint as a bunch of trees. You can stop this video and take this sketch and draw it. Now we are starting our wet on wet technique, and first thing I'm doing for wet on wet technique is wetting the paper. If you are following me along with another classes, you've probably noticed that I paint a lot with wet on wet technique. Actually, wet on wet technique is not taught in fine art school. I don't know why, and it is considered one of the most difficult techniques that are used in watercolor. It is true that at the beginning it is really difficult to find the way how to control the color, but by the end you get used to this technique and it doesn't seem to be so difficult. I took a 200 GSM weight paper. It is specifically for watercolors. If you have any other paper that is 300 weight or higher, it is better. I advise you that the most important thing that you find out when working on wet technique is to use cotton paper, because cotton paper helps that the paper stays wet more time, and it is easier for you to follow along and to paint the work. As you can see, I'm wetting it properly till the paper is wet. The secret of this paper that it is not getting wavy, even if it is only 200 GSM, is because I wet the paper from both sides. And when it starts to get wet, it is like it is spread on the table, and if we leave it to dry on the table, it would stay right, it won't get wavy by the end. Very important that we are wetting the edges, because the edges are the first ones to start to bleed. And now we are starting with painting with the watercolors. I'm taking my paintbrush Da Vinci number 0, and I will make first the clouds. I will take some ultramarine color, and I'm taking really few of it because the clouds somewhere are white and we will leave white spaces. For example, here we have really clear blue color. We can add even blue color, bright blue color, and paint over here, because we have the lake and because of aerial dynamics. We see that below the behind scene is colder, and once we bring closer to our eyes, it will be warmer. The fields will be more yellowish with green, more warm greens, and on the background we will paint more cold green. Now into this blue I will add some ruby color to create violet tones, because we see over here that we have really beautiful clouds that are turning their colors into violet. As you see, I am wetting it because I want to make it lighter, the color here. Somewhere we have darker shadows of violet, somewhere we have lighter. And pay attention, I'm wetting my paintbrush and then removing the excess of color. It is possible only while working on wet technique over here. Now I will take more blues, and now I'm taking a cobalt blue color and will adjust here. I'm removing the excess of the water as I want to take more color. And some ruby color. And some smaller touches I will make with spatching effect. As you can see, we take the color on our paintbrush and we make these kind of touches with our finger, but because we have lots of smaller clouds that we want to represent. With the clouds, if you want to know more about how to paint the clouds and interesting clouds, watch my previous class about the clouds. Now we will proceed with greeneries, with field of green. I will try to apply as less as possible the green colors because I want to mix up different blue colors with yellow and to create a unique palette with different blues and yellow colors, and not to take only green. Somewhere I will take green colors indeed. As I mentioned, the behind part of this field we have to paint it more with the colder colors because of the aerial perspective. We need to create this feel of depth and that the hills are going somewhere very far behind, and for this reason we have some blues, and now we are applying green color. I took a blue color, cobalt blue color, and I mixed up with normal yellow color, and you can see that we have this kind of green. That is darker, but at the same time it is cold green color. I think that I will take synthetics. Synthetics is taking less water and more color, and for this reason now I want, and while working on wet technique, what happens is that usually the color is spreading all throughout, and while working with synthetics it is just easier to control this work. Now I'm taking only blue color. It is cobalt blue color to represent the behind hill. I'm working with wet on wet technique because over here, as you can see, the hills are mixing up with clouds and we don't see really pronunciated edges. For this reason we are working on wet, but then I will take a hair dryer and will dry these hills that are closer to us, because I would like to make the edges really seen, as we have strong edges over here. I'm just taking blue color, bright blue. So I'm taking my hair dryer and will dry a little bit. Now I will show you how to dry. I dry only really a few touches and only here. I try not to dry it too much because I don't want to dry all the paper. I only want to dry this part and that the paper stays still wet.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic.
You see, the paper didn't come up because it is still wet, but at the same time over here my edges won't be a smooth layer anymore. Those will be clearer. See, you see it now? I will take some more violet colors because we have the reflection of the sky. Now over here, once again, I'm taking bright blue and yellow color. And I'm making these edges stronger too. We can paint somewhere more yellow color because not everywhere is the same color. Somewhere more blue. We can take even in the thin indigo color and make some darker touches, but at the same time we need cold touches. In the thin is a blue color, and it is really good for creating this transitions from cold to warm colors. And now I think that I will use a normal green color. Straight over here we have the houses. But we represent it only with one color. Somewhere I make it lighter, somewhere darker greens. And on the last layer we will work with details and we'll make some touches of different greens. And I took some sepia color because over here we have not only green but also some terrain. And as you can see, once I'm coming closer, I'm taking more colder color, warmer color, sorry, warmer, not colder. And one of my favorite colors, if you have it, it is olive color, and it is this kind of warm green. Here we have different trees. I would like to start with lighter colors, then I will add the shadows of these trees. And here we have some fields too that are lighter. And I think I will take more olive green color and will make all my fields over here that are lighter. taking more blue colors somewhere over there. And even if it is somewhere over there, we have some yellow color field, and for this kind of yellow, because it is somewhere very far away, we need a colder color, and the colder yellow we can consider a cadmium yellow. And I will apply over here some cadmium yellow because it is colder. Cadmium yellow many artists don't like to use because it is an opaque color, and watercolors, as far as we know, it is more transparent colors. And when working with different layers, this kind of yellow is really difficult to control because it's really opaque and not always the fields are coming up with a good color. So now what I used a very yellowish green. I used it because I feel like I wanted to give some really interesting colors. If you want, you can use it. And now I will take some warm colors. You see that somewhere we have like some warmer colors, and what I will do, I will take umber color. Umber color is this kind of brown color but with green touches, and I think that this kind of brown color is just perfect for our work over here. We can even mix up some green colors with umber colors. And we create the illusion of the movement of the field. I will take some orange colors too to this green. With orange colors, I will represent some trees that are darker over here. And here I'm taking kind of green color, and with olive green color I will make a mix. And I think I will add some yellow color to make this interesting effect. I will take some burnt umber . Some umber over here, darker color. Meanwhile, my paper is getting dried. I can still make these touches, and at the edges to be really smoothly The idea of this work is that you learn how to get some darker colors and that you are not afraid of mixing up different yellows, blues and green colors. I'm taking bright blue, cobalt blue, sorry, and I'm going over here again, but I will come up later with my second layer. So now what I will do, I will take a hairdryer and will dry all my work, but only the surface, that I can work on the second layer, but still my paper to stay fixed to the table. I dried my work and as you can see it is still wet because the paper stays on the table, and the first layer is dried. At least over here we have still some wet parts, but it is not a problem. I'm taking a smaller paintbrush. This is synthetics, and why I took this paintbrush is because I want to work with details. I took now cobalt blue color and I will take some ruby colors because I want to start with my lake over here, and we have that kind of violet touches over there, and for this reason I want to create these touches to be more visible. I'm taking my tissue and I'm removing this strong edge. I make the transition smoother. Now I'm taking cobalt blue color and green color, and once again I'm going with the last layer that we have over here. We make it darker. I'm taking in the thin. Oh, sorry, I told in the thin it is indigo color. I took indigo colors and I'm creating this idea of different trees that we have there behind. Pay attention that the lighter spaces I leave it white because I want to represent as well the hills. We don't have everywhere only trees. I'm taking a more indigo color. Okay. And here coming up, I'm taking olive green with indanthrine. And I will represent here some trees too. Our bigger tree that I would like to represent over here. Here we have a tree that it has really warm color, even if it stays somewhere there. I took some orange colors to represent it, and here we have some orange trees too. So now I'm taking more green color, darker green colors, and I will mix up with colder colors like sepia. In this way I will represent the shadows of the trees that we have over here. And I will represent some touches. And here I have lots of different trees, and here I will represent some trees smaller, some trees bigger. Somewhere I will make only color effect. Try to make as less trees as possible and leave some space for the fields. In this way the work will start to be more interesting and more pleasant. As far as you see, we are coming from here up to the front, and in front obviously we will paint these beautiful trees and we'll make this difference in colors. I'm taking more green color, and here for example I have several trees in a row and I will represent all those trees. If my work is coming in front of us, for this reason I try already to represent the trees clearer. And here we have a row of different trees. Now I take umber color and we'll make the edges of this, because we have some shades, and I think that in this umber I will add some blue color, because the shades we have those colder. I'm taking cobalt blue color and making these shades over here. Now, straight over here I have the trees, and the trees are without greenery on those, I will take umber color and will create. I think that I will take even thinner paintbrush. If you have the thinnest paintbrush, then it is good. I'm taking number 1 synthetics because I want to represent each detail of this tree. Taking more umber color. The good thing about synthetic is that it's not taking too much water, and for these really small details it is easier to paint. I think that before I will go with another tree, I will dry over here because I want to make it straight on this, and for this reason I need to have it dried and then to mix it up. I dried, and to my umber color I added some neutral black because I want to have this tree to pop up, and for this reason I'm adding some darker tones because I need a very dark hue that behind scene is not coming up, and this tree to stay interesting enough. As far as you see, if you compare it to the reference, my tree is much larger. Both my trees will be larger because I want to keep the eye of the watcher, of the viewer, to these trees. Look for interesting branches. Don't make those exactly the same. I'm taking more neutral black color. And over here I have the shadow. The shadows are usually really cold, and for a really cold shadow I'm taking Payne's Gray because this has to be dark enough and cold enough. I told that here I won't paint the trees, but I decided that by the end I will come up with some branches, with some trees, just to make a complete view of this work. In the background we have darker color trees, and in front of us we have lighter color, and for lighter colors I will take olive, and I will take some sepia. And for the shadows I'm taking Payne's Gray. Here we have the shadow too, and I'm taking it with Payne's Gray. Shadows over here, and here in front I have another trees, and those trees I will paint with Payne's Gray. Those are not so visible, but my idea is that I want these trees to come up to the viewer's eyes and to be completed the work. And I will take cadmium yellow, even if we don't have such strident color, but as I mentioned previously, cadmium yellow is an opaque color, and when painting with a opaque color it is easier to create this feeling that is just coming up in front. As far as you see, we have painted, and the light highlight with cold color, that is cadmium yellow, and the dark part of the tree with this a cold color, that is Payne's gray. For this reason, to make it warmer, to make the contrast of warmer color, I'm adding olive green. And we even can add some orange colors to make it warmer. And the shadow is not clearly seen. Now I have some greenery over here, and I want to make it interesting enough, and I will make the grass in this way that it looks interesting to a viewer eye, but at the same time I'm not taking too much detail of it. And as well, we have some flowers that are really light in color, and I think that for this light color I will add some cadmium yellow once again to make the view more dramatic one. So I'm taking cadmium yellow and we'll make sputtering effect over here. The same I will do with white color. Usually we don't use white color, but for these specific details I think it would be really interesting to apply and to make this interesting effect of flowers. And that's it. Our work is done. Thank you very much for watching. Dear friends, our art tutorial came to an end. I hope that you enjoyed drawing and painting with me this marvelous landscape, and I hope you have learned a lot about aerial perspective and how to create depth on such beautiful works and beautiful landscapes. For sure, you will be able now to paint your own landscapes while you will go outside and would like to paint something from the nature. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comments down below. I will be super happy to answer all of your questions. I invite you to like this video and subscribe to my channel, because on the next video I will share with you another interesting art tutorial where we will be drawing and painting this beautiful seashell. I also invite you to buy my latest course where we are talking about travel sketches. During this course of travel sketches, I share with you more advanced level skills on how to draw and how to paint in urban sketching, in landscapes, and how to use your previous skills in watercolors and to level up to another level with your skills in watercolors. And if it is your first time here on my YouTube channel, I also invite you to watch more things and more videos about aerial perspective and perspective in drawing. Thank you for watching this video, and till the next time, bye!